Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is a seasoned CPA who helps real estate investors, business owners navigate financial worlds, based out of beautiful Fort Lauderdale. Please welcome David Spencer, CPA. David, welcome to the show.
Hello, Dylan. It's a pleasure to be with you. We got some exciting stuff to discuss quickly.
I am a little jealous. Fort Lauderdale. I tell people I don't know where I'm moving in Florida, but probably Fort Lauderdale would be my number one destination. How long have you been out there?
I've been out here a little less than a year, and I think you've got good taste. It's close enough to Miami, so that way if you want to have a party night, you can get there, but far enough away to get away from the madness if you need to.
Where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from the West Coast. I'm an Oregon Duck. Let's go Ducks. But I got tired of the cold weather, and so that's what brought me out to Florida.
I guess it's how common is it, I don't know if you know, for snowbirds to go from Oregon to Florida? It's very common in the East Coast. Is that a common thing in Oregon?
Not so much. They're scared of driving across the country, and there's something. It's a long drive.
It seems like a long flight. I don't know how it would be, but yeah, the drive for sure seems impossible. I always like to start off at the top by asking folks how they got into real estate or tangent spaces. How did you get into working with real estate investors?
So I got into real estate very early on in my career as a public accountant when I was very first cutting my teeth. I'm a master at Excel spreadsheets, and I'm sure our real estate investors know that Excel helps a lot of people stay focused and make sure that all the numbers add up so that they can make a buck. Because I had that skill, I was put on a number of different real estate projects where I was managing the accounting and taxation for 200 and 300 unit apartment complexes. And so in doing that, I learned all the rules and cut my teeth there. And then I moved on and I was serving business owners. And a lot of times business owners, after they made a buck, one of the things they want to do is invest in real estate. It's good business.
That's exactly right. I think of all the things that people can do to build wealth, probably real estate is number one. I want to get a little bit granular, David, and ask you about some of the I guess, avenues people can go when they're exploring who to entrust with their finances in the real estate space. And I don't mean from an investment standpoint. I mean from maybe a tax strategy and an accounting standpoint. Now, I'm kind of green in this area, so help maybe guide me and excuse my ignorance a little bit. But I've had tax strategists, I've had tax attorneys, I've had CPAs, I've had enrolled agents on this podcast, and everyone has kind of a different gist, a different story. And I've heard a lot of people who say, CPAs, they might not eliminate your tax burden. And then I've heard other people say, well, you really need, if you have other elements or other areas of concern. I'm curious, because you're involved in so many. We were talking about tax strategy before hopping on here a little bit. What's your perspective on all the different people that folks can reach out to for some of these concerns?
I may be biased, but I think you need a CPA, and if you're running a serious business, you need a CPA and you need an attorney, right? And the reason is because you need someone who has the ability to be on your side in case something goes wrong. Your attorney, your CPA, they can represent you in front of the IRS. So if the IRS sends you a letter, and they might be using an AI generated letter that might not even make sense, right? That's a thing now. The IRS is generating letters using AI. You need somebody who can call the IRS and speak for you on your behalf. So that's a big difference between some of these paraprofessionals and CPA, a tax accountant, or even an EA. An EA is licensed to represent you before the IRS. Okay. Now, outside of that, you have the task of tax strategy.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
A CPA may do that or may not. Some CPAs, they have a really simple life. They want to keep things real simple. They're not going to do a tax plan for you automatically. If you ask for it, maybe they do or do not have that skill. Some of us, we hold ourselves to a higher level and we enjoy that tax planning piece of the puzzle. So if you're an investor who's got a couple different nuanced pieces that interact on your tax return, having someone and letting them know ahead of time. You know, a lot of times we'll see clients in January and they want us to help tax plan. It's too late. We need to talk to you middle of the year. We need to talk to you September. Then we can make a plan. So if you are interested in reducing your tax burden, like most people are, A, you need to think ahead, and B, you need to find someone who's providing that services. Not every CPA is going to do tax planning for you.
Thank you for that explanation, because I think I recently came across someone to do my own taxes personally in my business, and I realized one of the biggest benefits of real estate is all the different tax strategies that you can get involved into. And I think even if, like, just as an aside, like when I had a W-2 job, I probably could have saved so much on my taxes from my W-2 job had I had a real estate based business, or even just some awareness of the tax strategy involved. And we were talking about like mini cost segs before hopping on here. And I've had people who do this even for like the single family home level.
Yeah. Cost segregations, especially when you're in commercial real estate, can be huge. They can be huge savings. As we all know, depreciation is one of the biggest pieces of the savings that we can see as a real estate investor. And if you've got a W-2 job and you're building a real estate portfolio, you're definitely going to be able to offset some of those gains. So having that loss flow through to your personal tax return is definitely something that people look forward to. The whole goal, we think about holistically minimizing tax. At the end of the day, it's the person that's got to take tax. So we want to make that, at the end of the day, how do we minimize the overall number of dollars that you have to sit together? So it takes a little planning, but you can get you very rarely can get to zero. If you can get to zero, please let me know. You might be towing the line a little too close, right? If you make money, you usually have to pay tax. But you can often make it very comfortable.
That's exactly right. I mean, I think it's one thing to not have any plan, but it's another thing to expect you to have no burden whatsoever, right? I think there's a balance in between there. I want to pivot, David, and ask you about tech in the accounting world. So I'm in the wholesale space, and it feels like in the real estate space, tech is just at another level. I mean, I'm also a software engineering student, and it seems like even more, I know this sounds hard to believe, even more tech in real estate than there is funneling towards the software engineering space. I said, hold on here. So you mentioned that you're really utilizing a lot of these cutting edge tools. How does that look in your business?
As we serve clients, we utilize artificial intelligence and we utilize automation to make things as streamlined as possible, right? The purpose of financial statements is so that owners can make decisions, right? If they've noticed that payroll is going up, is there a reason? Maybe I've hired more people. Am I paying them market rate? So the information included on financial statements is designed to help business owners make decisions. And you can't make decisions timely if that information takes too long, right? If it takes 30 days to get your financial statements, yeah, that's not timely information anymore, right? So automation as well as artificial intelligence help us classify and correctly classify information that comes in from a bank feed. So that's one piece. As it connects to real estate and accounting too, is that we have the Genius Bill, which has given us a framework for stable coins. When we think about real estate and technology, one of the things that was all the craze a few years ago was tokenization of real estate and selling real estate on the blockchain. But the problem with that is that you have this overpayment, underpayment problem. Let's say you buy a piece of real estate and then the value of the token that you've used goes through the roof. Now you have massively overpaid for that real estate, okay? The other option could also happen. You could pay for a piece of real estate using crypto, and then that crypto goes to zero. Now the person who sold you the real estate, they've got a whole bag full of worthless tokens, right? And so that put a pretty big floor, a ceiling rather, on the number of people that wanted to get involved in real estate on the blockchain. And you couldn't use the bank because the banks weren't allowed to deal in digital assets. But now that we have the Genius Bill and we have a framework for banks and financial institutions to hold stable coins, now I think that we may have the infrastructure necessary to do real estate transactions on the blockchain.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
I think it's going to be interesting, right? Because, one of the things, and I'm really green in this area, but stable coins, right? Why would someone go stable coin versus just paying cash?
The ability to transfer, right? So I can move a stable coin anywhere in the world in a matter of a fraction of a second. Moving cash takes longer. That's kind of the biggest advantage there. Also, often my transaction fee is going to be less. If you move a big amount of money across, overseas, especially if you're going overseas, you've got wire fees as well as other things, as well as a lot of risk in the time that it's going to take for that stuff to get there. So that's the general reason. Plus people like utilizing the newest and latest technology. So there is that part.
When you mentioned that, I'm thinking because my brain was going to like Cash App, Venmo, and people could use that in kind of a minute. It's not crypto, right? But it's a digital way to send money very quickly. And then extrapolating that worldwide, though, these aren't available in every country and in a lot of places, right? So if I was to try to do this to other side of the world, different country, not going to work. Stable coin, you could take like a USDT, a US dollar tether in, Lagos, Nigeria, and it'll be here in seconds, right?
Seconds. And we're even gonna USDT, those are all issued by independent organizations. What we're gonna have soon is a real federally issued stablecoin. And that's gonna be really exciting. Not only because it's gonna really open up the ability of financial institutions to utilize stablecoins and digital assets, but it's also gonna be a big psychological factor, so that people have a whole lot more confidence in digital assets more broadly.
Yeah, that is going to be amazing. Is that do you have some information for us? Is that happening now? Is that down the pike?
That's the reason why they've created this framework. So they've actually been working on the US dollar token for quite some time. They've been having pilots, and the central banks all over the world have been running sandbox testing on digital assets. Famously, China is much further ahead. They've got a central planning government there that can just do what they want. So they can move pretty quickly. The United States, Jerome Powell has said it very, very accurately. We're the biggest, so we don't need to be the first. We just need to be the best. And so they've taken a much more kind of tortoise tactic that the slow one wins the race.
It's
July. We're going to have a digital dollar.
We will, right? It's July 11th when we're talking here today, and I want to say today or yesterday, like Bitcoin hit all-time highs. It seemed like all of the crypto was really bullish. And so, do you think any of that has to do with some of these topics that we're talking about here, of maybe a stable coin that's going to be on the federal level, and is any of that influencing things, or is this just kind of the ebbs and flows maybe of investing?
Some of it is the ebbs and flows for sure, right? There's all kinds of reasons to be excited about digital assets, and that does have its own kind of rhythm to the wave. However, the Genius Bill did in fact lay a good framework for us. It's going to give a lot of people a lot of confidence. We also recently had the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, where we are in fact we are living in exciting times because we are watching a shift.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
If our president is right, who knows if it's going to work? But his goal is to shift where the money comes in to pay for government. Will it work? Nobody knows. We've never tried it before. But it's definitely exciting times, and the changes in technology are going to be very instrumental in that process of change.
I want to pivot a bit here, David, and ask you about real estate investing strategies as they relate to tax strategy and maybe some accounting as well. I think a lot of people who are starting out in the real estate space, like myself, will start out in wholesale, and it's kind of, as a wholesaler, you can kind of do, I would call it maybe a mom and pop or a ragtag operation, and you're kind of just grabbing the boot by the horns and figuring it out, kind of winging it. But as you go, as you scale, you go from maybe wholesale to fix and flip, maybe to long-term, mid-term corporate housing. From there, I've seen people start buying notes and then lending money. I don't know if there's a one-size-fits-all, but at what point in time do you think is it advisable for someone? Is there a dollar amount? Is there a certain number of flips per year? Is there a certain number of deals per year where you think, hey, they should really have, a CPA that they're working with, or they should really have these people in part of their network and their team?
When you think about it, it's a cost-benefit analysis, right? Just broad strokes. When you're at the point where you are paying more in self-employment tax than you would pay in payroll tax, it's probably time to think about the S Corp conversion, right? So if you start an LLC, with a lot of business owners, that's where they start out, the LLC. Eventually, sometimes we need to get to the S Corp to help save on self-employment versus payroll tax. So once you get to that point, that's a good point to think about the S Corp conversion. Maybe slightly before that is when you want to think about the CPA or having a tax strategy more laid out. If your plan is to do, residential real estate and do something pretty straightforward, definitely get someone to take a look, because there are things that you can miss that may seem simple, but that you do need to think about, right? From a compliance standpoint also, right? There's always different taxes. Now, if you are planning a more longer term endeavor and you want to really grow your empire, definitely have a CPA look at it and give them your vision. Sit down, spend the time, right? Most CPAs, they really like business, so they want to learn about your business.
I think that's an interesting perspective, right? Like, who wants to hear about my startup business? But actually, we want to hear about it. We're excited to hear about it. I think that's a trap that a lot of You probably hear this a lot. There's a lot of people who think, well, I don't need to do it right now, or who wants to listen? But actually, there's a lot of people, probably you relate to this, that think, no, this is actually the great time. If it's not necessarily go get started now, let's put a plan together, and I'll be here in 18 months, you'll be here in 18 months or 6 months or wherever it is, and we can rehash then. David, we are actually coming up on time here. Where can folks go if they'd like to get in contact with you, or maybe learn a little bit more about your business, or just get in touch with you?
You can go to www.finnovate.cpa. That's Finnovate, Finnovate, CPA.com. Think finance, innovation, compliance. We help people do everything from get lending. We can help you increase your accounting department, help you with implementations. And at the end of the day, we can help you with tax and accounting as well. So finance, innovation, compliance, happy to be of service.
David, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
My pleasure, Dylan. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.